So we might have a couple more people join us live, but we'll go ahead and get started here. So I'll give you a quick intro to my approach, and then we'll get rolling. So my background is in Vinyasa and a whole mix of different other things as well, but the main approach that we'll be using is Vinyasa, and what makes Vinyasa interesting is that we use the breath to move the body through space. So this does a couple things. It can make it a little bit easier and more effective to do things like stretch your back when you use your inhale to lift your chest and your exhale around your belly. So that's what we'll start by focusing on today. And then there's also all sorts of interesting things that you can do with Vinyasa. It is a little bit of both an art and science of creating practices to help you feel better. So this one is, we're going to be all gentle and low to the ground and slow. And I really appreciate your feedback. So, I mean, if you have any questions, it's totally fine to unmute yourself and ask. And I'll check in and see how things are going. And hopefully at the end of the hour, we'll be feeling good and relaxed is the plan. So I have my camera up here and my iPad down there. And so I'm doing a little bit of looking back and forth because here I can see you and here I can't see you when I'm talking to you. So I'm still getting used to the technology of doing this. So I have a chair set up, so I'll demonstrate some things in a chair and also options for being on the floor. We're going to start seated, so you can be sitting in the chair, you can be sitting on the ground, either way is totally fine. So you can just start by getting comfortable and maybe rock a little bit forward and back on your hips so that you can feel like your pelvis is in a pretty neutral position, and wiggle your spine a little bit longer and relax your shoulders down away from your ears and let the top of your head float up so your neck is nice and long. And if you like, you can close your eyes here. We're going to start just by checking in and notice how you feel this afternoon or evening, wherever you are. And you're going to feel sort of the space of the room that you're in, so you can feel what you're sitting on. And notice what sounds you hear. You might be able to hear the sound of my voice, the sound of other things in the room or outside of the room. And then begin to feel your breath in and out. And for now, just notice where you're feeling your breath. So you might feel the rise and fall of your chest or your belly, or you might be able to sense the air moving in and out through your nose. And then over the next couple breaths, start to lengthen your inhale and exhale. So you start to breathe just a little bit more deeply, nice and gentle. And then we're going to start to work on a default Vinyasa breath. So there's a sequence to it. When you inhale, you'll lift your chest and then relax your belly. And then when you exhale, pull in your belly and then relax your chest and shoulders down. So inhale first, lift your chest, relax your belly, and then exhale, belly in, and then chest down. So it's as if you're filling from the top down and then from the bottom up. So you inhale, chest up, belly relaxes, and then exhale, belly in, and then chest and shoulders relax. And we'll use that movement with the breath over the whole practice today, so you'll get to feel what that connection between breath and movement is like. So when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open and get ready to move. So 2 options here. You can either be seated in a chair, and we're going to do a little warm up for the spine. So chair version, you're going to have your hand sit a little bit forward in your chair with your hands behind your back. And when you inhale, you're going to lift your chest and reach your arms up and out. So they reach overhead. And then when you exhale, pull in your belly and round your way forward, drop your chin, and your hands come behind your back. And then you'll reverse it. When you inhale, lift your chest, arms come out and up. And then when you exhale, pull in your belly and round your way back down, drop your chin. Good, so you can do that a couple times at your own pace. Inhale, lift your chest and arms up. And exhale, sweep your arms back and down. So you can also do this kneeling. So if you're in the chair, you can keep that going. If you want to try it kneeling, you'll be on your knees standing up. And then when you exhale, sweep your arms back and down, drop your chin, round your low back, your forehead comes all the way down to the floor in child's pose. So both they're doing the same with the spine. Inhale, you lift your chest, arms out and up. And exhale, pull in your belly and round your back, drop your chin down. So wherever you are, just do that 2 more times. And see if you can coordinate your breath with your movement. So it takes the whole inhale to come all the way up and reach your arms up. And then it takes your whole exhale to pull in your belly and fold all the way down again. And then last time when you come up, you can stay up with your arms up and then just relax your arms down by your sides. So from here, you can stand up, or you can stay seated in the chair if you prefer. We're going to focus a little bit on working on some upper back and shoulder mobility. So we're going to go into a little bit of back bend. So if you're seated in the chair, same deal. If you stay seated forward on the edge, that gives you a little bit more room to move your pelvis around. So seated in the chair, you're going to stay upright. And then when you inhale, you're going to rotate your palms forward and lift your chest and lean forward just slightly so you squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then when you exhale, you shift your weight back and relax your arms down. If you're standing, you're going to start with 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So I've got my right foot forward here, my left foot's back. Arms are relaxed down by the sides. Push your back leg straight so your belly is in, and that helps to engage your glutes and push your back heel down. So right now I'm kind of stacked shoulders over hips. Exhale here, keep pulling your belly in. And then when you inhale, same deal, you're going to slide your chest forward and rotate your palms forward. And then exhale, straighten your leg and come back. So either way, if you're seated on the chair or if you're standing with your legs split, we'll do that one more time in that arm position. So inhale, bend your front knee, shift your chest forward and rotate your palms forward. And then exhale, pull in your belly and shift your weight back and come back. Now we're going to do same thing. So you can be seated or you can have the same leg position. Now we're going to take the arms a little bit higher. So you're going to imagine like you're kind of like a little clock here. So now you're going to go inhale, bend your front knee and open your arms like, what is that? Like 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And then exhale and relax your arms down. So just a little bit wider this time. Inhale, open. And exhale, straighten and come back. And then we'll do that again. And now we're going to go to 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So inhale, open your arms wide. And then exhale, your arms come close. Again, like that. Inhale, open arms wide. I'm cheating a little bit with this arm that's close to the wall. And exhale, arms come back down. Now we're going to go 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So now inhale, bend your front knee, and now your arms open up like a Y shape above you. And then exhale, straighten your legs and arms come down. And again in that 10 and 2. Inhale, arms open like a Y. And exhale, they kind of come forward and down. And then last one, instead of opening forward, we're going to inhale and bring the arms forward and up. And then exhale, straighten your leg and come back. And one last time in that position. Inhale, lift your chest, both arms up. And exhale, arms come back down. And step your feet together. If you're standing, if you're seated in the chair, just take a moment and feel around your shoulders and your back. And just feel the work that you did around your upper body. And then we'll do that set one more time. So if you're standing, you're going to switch your legs. I have to remember which side I'm on. And then we're going to do that same pattern again 2 times in each arm position. So inhale, palms come forward, slide your chest forward. Exhale and rotate your palms back down again. Inhale, palms face forward, they hang low. And exhale back down. And then we go, what did we say, 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock? So inhale, your palms turn forward, reach your chest forward on a diagonal, and then slide your chest back. And again, arms open a low diagonal, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then shift back. And I'll do the last couple in the chair with you. So sitting at the edges of your chair now, 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Inhale, open your arms wide. And exhale, close. And again, inhale, arms open wide. And exhale, close. And then 2 times at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, so arms go to a W overhead. Inhale, lift your chest as you open your arms up. And exhale, back down. And once more like that, inhale, wide W, lean forward a little bit to work your upper back. And exhale, back down. You can place your hands on your knees. And then last one, arms come forward and up. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, back down. And last one, inhale, reach up. And exhale, back down. And again, you can take a moment to pause. If you're standing, step your feet together. You can feel the work around your upper back. So a little back bend, and in this position where we're upright, either standing or in a chair, it takes a little bit of the pressure off the low back so that you can start to mobilize, especially those different arm positions, move the shoulders in a little bit different way to get some circulation going in there. So we're going to revisit this sweeping arm pattern a couple different positions this evening or afternoon, whatever time it is. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do that same arm pathway that we did first, and now we're just going to do it one arm at a time. So you're going to have one hand. I have got my right hand here behind my back. My left arm is up overhead. And we're going to coordinate again that forward bend with the arm sweeping. So now when you exhale, you're going to sweep your lifted arm down, out and down, palm up, and then turn your head away towards the right as you fold forward. So you'll stretch this left side of your neck a little bit. Okay, here's the tricky part now. Inhale, lift your chest, and now your right arm comes up back to center. So we're switching sides. So now with your right arm up, when you exhale, turn your head to the left as you fold forward. And then when you inhale, your left arm comes up. So you can do the same deal standing. We're just going to do a half forward bend if you're standing. So if you're standing, inhale with your arm up. Exhale, you're going to fold halfway and turn your head away from your arm. And then when you inhale, you're going to lift back up, turn your head forward. And then exhale, turn your arm away as you come into half forward bend. So let's do this. Inhale, lift your chest, reach your left arm up. And then exhale, turn your head as you fold forward. And then inhale, lift your chest. Other arm comes up as you stand all the way up. And exhale, switch and fold. And then inhale, lift your chest. Opposite arm comes up. And I think we've got one more side to do. Exhale and forward bend. And turn your head. And inhale all the way back up. And then exhale, relax your arm down. So little head turn side to side to relax the neck. We're gonna do one more time symmetrically, and we're gonna stay in that forward bend. We're coming all the way down. So either way, standing or seated, inhale, reach your arms up, both of them. And then exhale, sweep your arms out and down as you fold forward. And go as low as you can. If you're sitting down or you're standing up, you can widen your feet if you feel like you need a little more room. Inhale, lift your chest and arms sweep out and up, come up. 2 more times, and then we'll hold it on the second one. So exhale, fold forward, pull in your belly, drop your chin down. And inhale, lift your chest all the way up. Think about squeezing between your shoulder blades as you come up. And exhale, pull in your belly and round down. And this time we'll stay in that forward bend. So right now we started with hands behind the back. That might feel nice to have them there. If you prefer, you can relax your arms down and hold on to your legs. Or you can hold on to opposite elbows. Is a nice variation to help relax your upper back and your neck. And just let your head just kind of hang down there. You can gently shake your head a little bit if you want. And then take your time. If you are standing in a forward bend, go ahead and step yourself down to hands and knees. If you're seated in a chair, walk yourself back up and place your hands on your knees. And then from here, we're going to do a little Chakramakasana. So if you're kneeling, when you exhale, you're going to pull in your low abs. Oops, I got this chair behind me, hang on. So if you're kneeling, you're going to pull in your low abs. First, round your pelvis and stretch your low back, then bend your elbows, round your upper back, bring your forehead down. And then when you inhale, pull yourself forward, lift your chest so they come back into hands and knees. Exhale, pull in your low abs, round your way back, drop your chin. And inhale, come forward to hands and knees. If you're seated in a chair, you can place your hands on your knees the whole time. The action of your spine is the same. So when you inhale, you pull yourself through with your chest. And then when you exhale, you round your low belly, round your low back, drop your chin, and look in towards your belly. So you're inhaling to arch your spine, lift your chest, and lift your chin just slightly at the end of your inhale. And then when you exhale, pull in your belly, drop your chin, and round your way back down. Good, one more time wherever you are. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the chin at the very end of your inhale, just a little, so the back of your neck stays long. And exhale, pull in your belly as you round your low back. And then if you're in a chair, you can stay seated with your hands on your knees. If you're laying on your belly, or if you're on your knees, then go ahead and lay all the way down on your belly. So we're going to do something called Shavasana, which is locust. So the chair version of this, we're going to start with hands on knees, and we're going to practice that, again, that traction of pulling through with the back. So you're with your hands on your knees. When you inhale, you're going to pull with your hands. So you're kind of dragging your knees towards your hips to pull your chest through your upper arms. And then when you exhale, you return back to a neutral position. So you should feel the muscles between your shoulder blades engage here. So when you inhale, you pull your chest through. And when you exhale, back to neutral. And if you're laying on the belly, same deal. You can either have your hands so that they're close to your low ribs, or you can open your arms out more like a cactus. So either way, when you inhale, you pull back with your hands, lift your chest. And when you exhale, drop your chin and come back to neutral. So a couple more times at your own pace with that variation. And when you inhale, feel that contraction in your shoulder blades squeezing together. Good, and then you can come back to neutral and rest. So you can either be laying on your belly and rest your forehead on your hands, or you can be seated with your hands resting on your knees. So I bet you can guess what arm pathway comes back. So we're gonna again do that same pattern, but now we're gonna add that sweeping arm position. So if you're seated in the chair, one hand is gonna keep doing this pull. So you still get that traction of pulling your chest through. Now it's just with one arm. And now you're also going to coordinate. Inhale, sweep your arm out and up. And exhale, come back to neutral. So you got the traction with the one leg, one arm, and then you're going to switch. So when you inhale, lift your chest, your arm comes out and up, pulling with one arm. And then when you exhale, you sweep your arm back and come back to neutral. If you want, you can do that same head turn deal so that your head turns away from your arm when you come back. So inhale, I got a switcheroo. Inhale, pull with your hand, lift your chest, arm comes out and up. And then exhale, arm sweeps back, turn your head opposite. So what this looks like if you're laying on the ground is pretty much exactly the same. So you've got one hand on the ground, one hand behind the back. Inhale, you pull with one hand, lift your arm out and up, and then exhale and rotate and turn your head opposite, and then you're gonna switch your hands. So inhale, pull, and lift your chest, and exhale, turn your head away as you lower back down. So go one more time each side. Get nice and smooth and slow, you got it. And then once you've done that second side, you just take a moment to pause. When you come back, you can rest both hands on your knees, or if you're laying on the ground, you can either turn your head to one side or rest your forehead on your hands. So good news, all of the hard work of the practice is done. So we did a little bit of back bending to strengthen the back, and now our focus is going to shift more to forward bends and holding it a little longer so we can really get into a nice relaxed state. So if you are on the ground like I am, you're gonna flip over so you're laying on your back and bring your knees into your chest. And if you are seated in a chair, you're gonna either repeat that Chakrabakasana that we just did, where you inhale, lift your chest, exhale and curl in. We just did a whole bunch of that. So if you prefer, you can just bring it on down into a forward bend. You can either kind of lay your chest on your thighs, or you can walk your feet a little wider so they can dangle a little bit. So it's up to you if you want to be dynamic about what you're doing and inhale and lengthen your spine either halfway or all the way up. and exhale and round back down. If you're on your back, you can just hug your knees into your chest, or when you inhale, you can press your knees away and exhale, bring your knees in. Either one's good. So just take a moment to stretch your back after that little round of back bends that we did. And then take your time to sit back up when you're ready, if you're in the chair. If you are laying on the ground, stay there. So again, I'm kind of scooting forward to the front edge of my chair. If you're laying on the ground, you're going to go, well, either way, wherever you are oriented in space, your knees are going to go one way and your chest is going to go the other. So we're going to alternate sides. Go ahead and if you're in a chair, make cactus arms, so your palms face forward. If you're laying on the ground, it works a little better if your arms are a little bit of a droopy T. It'll be a little easier on your shoulders when you're on the back position. So cactus arms, inhale, lengthen your back wherever you are. If you're laying on the floor, your knees are in towards your chest still. And then when you exhale, your knees are going to go to the left and your chest is going to go to the right. And then when you inhale, you're going to come back to center again. And then when you exhale, now your knees go right, your chest goes left. So if you're on the ground, it's your knees are moving. Inhale, center. And if you're seated on the chair, it's your torso that's moving. So either way, we're using the muscles at the sides to twist. Inhale to center. And exhale to twist. Let's go one more time, side to side. Inhale to center. And exhale, twist. Inhale, center. And exhale, twist. And then once you get back to the first side again, now you're going to take one hand to your knee. If you're seated on a chair, you can either hang on to the back of the chair or onto the seat, whatever makes sense. And you can turn your head either direction. And same deal if you're laying on the floor. You're in a recline twist. I'll hop down there and show you. So if you're on the floor, same deal. Hand on knee. And you can experiment with the turn of your head. So it might feel best to turn your head away from you. That's sort of the typical way that we do it. But it might feel better on your neck to turn your head away from the twist. So just experiment a little bit. You can close your eyes if you like. And relax your shoulders down. And if your knees don't get all the way down to the ground in this position, if you're laying down, feel free to grab a pile of blankets or something so that you feel like you can just flop down. Or you can also reposition yourself to a seated position. Either one's good. It's a couple of nice big slow breaths wherever you are. And then we'll switch and go to the other side. So inhale, lift your chest, bring your knees back to center, and exhale and rotate to the other direction. So again, you can have one hand on the knee, one hand on the chair, or on the seat, or you can be laying on your back and twisting with one hand on the knee. And again, experiment with the turn of your head. So depending on your position in space, and right and left sides can be different. It might feel good to turn the same direction or a different direction. And you can also experiment with the tilt of your head. You have your ear a little bit more towards one shoulder. It can change what you feel in your neck too. Just be nice and slow. Just find a comfortable place to stay for another breath or two. And take your time to make your way back to center. And if you're laying on the ground, you can bring your knees into your chest. If you're seated in a chair, you can either do the dynamic stretch, inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, round your low back, or you can just hang out and be in a forward bend. Either one is fine. And then the next thing we're gonna do is a little axial extension. So when you're ready, you're gonna make your spine back to neutral again. So you'd be seated upright, or you can have your knees over your hips if you're laying on the ground. So in this position, we're gonna use the legs and arms to help lengthen your back. So when you inhale, reach your arms up and overhead and then straighten your legs. And then when you exhale, bend your knees and bring your arms back down again. So either way, if you're laying on the ground or if you're in a chair, the motion of your arms and legs is the same. And what's key here is to keep your belly engaged a little bit the whole time. So it's a little bit of work for your abs. Maybe I was not entirely telling the truth when we said we were done with work. It's a little bit of work. So it's quite hard to do both legs at the same time in a chair, so you might do one at a time. Otherwise, you might need to scoot back from the edge so that you have a little bit more support to get both of them going. And the next time you straighten your legs, one or both of them, we're gonna hold it here. So when you exhale, keep pulling in your belly. And then when you inhale, just stretch a little bit more through your arms and legs. So with each inhale, you reach a little more. And with each exhale, you pull in your belly. And then exhale, bend your knees and lower your arms back down and rest. So if you're seated, you can just rest your hands on your knees for a moment. If you'd rather forward bend, you can do that, although that's where we're going next. So either way, just take a moment to pause. And you can feel the effects of all that we've done so far, a little bit of work around the back and hips and back of the legs we just added in. And then when you're ready, make your way up to a seated position, whether you're sitting on the chair or on the floor. So if you're in a chair, you can scoot yourself a little bit forward again. We're gonna do an asymmetrical forward fold. So you're gonna take the sole of your left foot and put it in towards your right somewhere. So your foot can be kind of in towards your ankle. And we're gonna bend in this position. If you're on the ground, your foot can be anywhere up around your leg, heel, in towards your inner thigh somewhere. So either position is totally fine. And it's your choice in this position, whether you want to reach both arms up, it's a little bit more work for your back, or you can slide your hands along your leg. So when you inhale next, lift your chest, make your spine a little taller. And then when you exhale, pull in your belly and slide your hands down your leg, drop your chin down. We're gonna go up and down a couple times before we hold. So inhale, lift your chest to sit back up. And exhale, pull in your belly and fold gently down. And have, especially if you're seated on the floor, have your extended leg bent a little bit so that you're not locking out your knee, and it just stays nice and gentle and focuses more on your back rather than the back of your leg. And next time you're gonna stay in that forward bend position and relax the back of your neck. You just hang out. And if for whatever reason you're not quite comfortable here, it's okay to shift your weight around and find a better spot. You can adjust the position of your bent leg. You can also experiment with whether you're folding directly forward or over to one side or the other. And so what we did with the sequence of this practice is we started with some dynamic movement and we focused on the back bends. All of those are a little bit more energizing and a little bit more muscular work. And now we're slowing things down. We're doing a little bit longer stay in postures, and these forward bends and twists are a little bit more calming to the nervous system. They can still be challenging, but they are overall more relaxing. And then when you're ready, you can take your time to sit back up and then come back to neutral for a moment. So you can have both legs straight. If you're seated in a chair, it might feel nice to bend both of your knees again and just take a moment to pause, and you might feel the difference between one side of your body and the other. You might feel one is longer on one side, or you might feel some, I feel like sometimes it's like a bouncing back feeling when you come out of a stretch, just are more aware of maybe some spot in your hip or your back. And then we'll go for the other side. So you'll have one leg straight, one leg bent, that sort of the outside of your foot somewhere along your extended leg. And again, your choice. More work is both arms overhead. Less work is arms on the thigh and sliding. I almost always pick the less work variation. I like it. So when you inhale, lift your chest. And then when you exhale, pull in your belly. Nice and slow, fold forward. And just go as far as feels good. It doesn't even have to be very far. Inhale, slowly lift your chest to come back. A little bit bent in that extended leg to make it a little bit more gentle of a stretch. And just going nice and slow so that your spine is a little bit like a wave. Inhale to wave up, and then exhale to wave back down again. And the next time you come down, you can stay in that forward bend position. And even as you stay down, you can still imagine your spine like a wave. So when you inhale, you can lengthen your back a little bit, make a little bit of room. And then when you exhale, you can drop your chin and relax again. And your arms can just hang out wherever feels good. And again, feel free to experiment by turning a little bit more to one side or the other, playing with the position of your head and neck. So as much as the practice is about doing some specific movements, it's also about noticing how all these things feel in your body and learning what feels good. So you can make little adjustments and customize it in a way that works for you. And then nice and slow, take your time to sit back up again. And then we'll do one more seated forward bend to be symmetrical. So it's up to you. You can do what we did before and drape your chest on your thighs, or you can take your feet wider and really hang out down there. If you're seated on the ground, oh, you can do legs straight too. If you want to try both legs straight, you can go that way. If you have short legs like I do, having your feet propped up on something can be helpful if you get a high chair. If you're on the ground, same deal. You can have both legs straight. You can go wide. You can take soles of your feet together just so that your legs are symmetrical, whichever one you prefer. Big inhale, and then when you exhale, pull in your belly and fold down. And maybe for the first couple, be dynamic about it like we have been. Wave your spine up as you inhale, then pull in your belly and round down slowly as you exhale. And so this mix of doing dynamic movement and then staying helps to train your muscles to relax, so that contraction and release is the thing that helps your muscles actually relax. So once you've done a couple of those, then you can stay in that forward bend. Whatever leg position you have is fine. And then nice and slow, take your time to walk yourself back up. If you're sitting on the ground, go ahead and lay on your back. If you're seated on a chair, place your hands on your knees. So if you're in the chair, I'm gonna come back to that Chakrabakasana or locust-ish thing, where when you inhale, you pull forward with your, pull with your hands to lift your chest, lift your chin slightly, and exhale and round your way back. If you're laying on your back, you're gonna bend your knees so that your feet are on the floor and your arms along by your sides. And when you inhale, press into your feet. Inhale, lift your hips, your low back, your upper back up, and then exhale, lower down. So either way, if you're on the seat, when you inhale, you're lifting your chest and pulling with your hands. If you're on the ground, when you inhale, you're lifting your hips. So either way, when you inhale, you're making a little bit of a back bend shape. You're engaging the muscles in the back of your body. And when you exhale, you're pulling in your belly and coming back into neutral. And one more time like that. Inhale, lift, use the back of your body. Exhale, pull in your belly, use the front of your body. So this forward back motion is just this rhythm of inhale, squeezing the muscles of your back, and exhale, squeezing the muscles of your front. And then once you've done a couple of those, you can just rest. If you're laying on your back, you can rest your arms along by your sides. If you're seated in a chair, just rest your hands on your knees. It might be nice to close your eyes for a moment. And then we're going to take just a couple minutes to rest in Shavasana. This is a nice way to wrap up the practice and feel the effects of what we did. So you're seated in the chair, you can sit back up and you can lean back into your chair and close your eyes. If you're laying on the floor, you can Keep your knees bent if you want, or you can straighten your legs. If you've got a chair handy and you've been up and down all over the place like I have, you can also lay on your back with your shins resting on the chair. This is my most favorite way to rest in Shavasana. But really what's important is for you to feel comfortable. So any comfortable position. And wherever you are, just take a moment to settle in, make sure that you're feeling supported and that your body can relax. If you want to cover up with a blanket or something, that's nice too. And then take a moment, we'll just kind of check in and feel the effects of the work that we did. So we did we'll start from the bottom up. So legs were bending and extending. And we spent a lot of time around the hips, rotating the pelvis forward and back, stretching around the low back and the upper back. So you might feel some warmth around your hips and spine, or maybe a little fatigue or that residual stretch feeling around your back or hip somewhere. Maybe just you just feeling your body a little bit more. And then sense around your upper back and shoulders, your neck. Did a lot of head turns side to side, and so you might feel some warmth around your shoulders or neck. And then again, feel your breath in and out. You might feel, again, notice the sensation of the air moving in and out through your nose, maybe the rise and fall of your chest or belly. And notice if anything feels different from when you began the practice. And you might just remember what you did, if there's anything that stood out or that felt good to you, so you can remember that for future practices. And then for the next minute or so, you don't have to think about anything in particular. You can just take a moment to enjoy a little bit of quiet and rest. And I'll check back in another minute or so. And then take your time. When you feel ready, you can start to move and stretch a little bit. You can wiggle your fingers and toes. You gently turn your head side to side. And when you're ready, you can sit back up if you've been laying down and come back into the real world. So thank you so much for practicing with me this afternoon. Hope you're feeling good. Do you have any questions about anything? All right, how are you feeling? Okay? Okay, awesome. So if you have any questions about anything, or if you think about something that you'd like to work on or move or stretch, just let me know. You can send me an email, and I'm here to just take care of you and do whatever you want. So yeah. So thank you so much. So I hope you have a great week, and I will send you all an email of the replay of this so you can have it and do it again whenever you want. And I will see you next time.